Hi, I'm Kylie. I'm a retired paramedic, and this is Everyday Ambo, where I share the lessons learned from a career on the front line. This is lesson number 7, Incredible Stories. If you've clicked in, you obviously want to hear an incredible story, and boy, do I have an incredible story for you. And you'll never guess how it turns out. So I went out for a lunch meeting this week with a group of people who felt compelled to be there and didn't really know each other. It was strange and it was awkward. You know, one of those social situations where everyone is pretending to be really glad that they're there, but everyone is secretly hating the experience because it's uncomfortable and awkward. So they're counting down the minutes until it's over. Awkward conversations, awkward silences, and just plain awkward. The two guys at the table had nothing to say. One woman was obviously nervous and talking too much about random topics, which didn't garner much engagement, and the other woman clearly saw herself as the group manager and determiner of social policy and procedure. I attempted to join the conversation on multiple times, and the alpha woman in the group made it abundantly clear that my attempts weren't going to be relished. My topics were unacceptable, my sentiments not welcome, and I was clearly too friendly too soon. She smiled through gritted teeth. She shut me down and steered the conversation into one pothole after another as she refused my attempt to participate and break the ice. Obviously not ready for the ice to be broken or for me to be the breaker. So then, you'll never believe what happened next. Just as I was giving up on being a part of the group, in sweeps another group member late to the party. The new lady sweeps in and quickly starts up a conversation with me as the only one left in the group without a conversation partner. Having met before, we quickly caught up and dived deeper into learning more about each other. The conversation took off quickly, like a house on fire, and before we knew it, we had a conversation that was the most interesting at the table. Everyone else stopped to listen and wanted to join in, as we were clearly enjoying ourselves and the vibe had changed from awkward to enjoyable, and we were the only ones having fun. Then the next thing I know, the alpha woman wants to be a part of the conversation. She wants to join in and be welcome to the party, and that's when I realised the tables had turned, and I was now in the lead. And just like a game of Simon Says, I realised it was up to me to give the instructions. Like a choose-your-own-adventure story from the 80s, I had two paths before me, and I needed to decide. The first path is the one that we all feel most satisfied with taking. You know the one where I put my hand in her face and say, "Too late, lady, you had your opportunity and you were a bitch. You've made your bed and now you have to lie in it. You deserve to get some of your own medicine and karma is a bitch." We all love to hear that the protagonist gets what's coming to them and learns a valuable lesson about who they can screw with in life. We want to hear that the underdog was saved by the hero who swanned in and saved her from the evil witch at the table. That the witch was cast out forever and kicked to the curb, shunned by a civilized society. But of course, that only happens on social media. The second path I had to choose from was the one where I warmly welcomed the woman into the group and allowed her to be a part of the lovely conversation, encouraging her participation and giving her warm welcoming smiles so that we brought her into the group, showing her how happy we were to have her as a part of our group and how grateful we were that she finally desired entry, for we must be so deserving of her attention that she would want to be a part. Of course, that's not the path that anybody listening wants to hear. This doesn't feel very satisfying, and who wants that sort of gooey crap for lunch anyway? Oh no. An incredible story takes the listener on an emotional ride through triumph and tribulation, drama and intrigue. And just when you think all hope is lost, the good guys finally prevail. And of course, because I'm telling the story, I'm one of the good guys. And because I'm telling you the story and taking you on a ride, you're a good guy too. So together, we must prevail for the story to be an incredible one. Of course, neither of these paths is what really happened. And that's what makes this story so incredible. Did you know that the meaning of incredible is too extraordinary and probable to believe? Like a big wave came and the lady was drowned, but then I had to resuscitate her and she survived. But of course, that didn't really happen. What really happened was once the meeting was all over and we all parted ways, the lady followed me on down the street to continue the conversation, subscribed to my story. And that was when I saw my incredible opportunity. Standing at a crossroads, waiting for the pedestrian light, the lights changed mid-sentence. Then suddenly, the green guy flashed in 2 directions, and I let the lady step off the curb. And that's when it happened. I stepped off in the opposite direction. Mid-sentence, I left her hanging, never to know how it all turned out. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, that's not an incredible story. An incredible story would have seen the lady step off the curb and be hit by a car, squashed, dead, over, done. And you're right. That would have been a much more incredible story. But seriously, what kind of a sick person are you that you would wish somebody dead? Don't worry, we all would have thought that was more of an incredible story. Unfortunately, that's not what happened, and I can't lie. So you are probably wondering why I told an incredible story. Well, I've been doing a lot of research into YouTube and what makes people click and listen to your video over all the other choices, and basically they tell the same story. Hook them, take them on an emotional ride of promises that delivers in the end. And the more I watched, the more I realised that what they are delivering isn't anything actually real or tangible, but merely an emotional ride that ends on a high, so that everyone can feel like they got their money's worth and their time was well spent. So I've learnt that if I want to succeed, I need to promise you a high and take you for a ride. Well, I was a paramedic for quite a long time, and I can tell you, all our stories end in death, and that's rarely a high, or so incredible. So to all of you that truly believe that all stories end on a high, spoiler alert, everyone dies, even on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed my story, even though it didn't end how you would have liked. Unfortunately, that's the reality, and if you can't handle the truth, you should check out my video called You Can't Trust Anyone. That might help. See you later.